Welcome back, everybody, to the Inter Extra podcast. I am here, Sean, with my co-host Simi. How you doing, Simi?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing, bro?
I'm good. Can't complain. Um, well, we have gotten into the season finally. So today we're gonna be talking about a couple more things other than just the transfer market. We're
Yes.
finally out of just Mercato mode. We can go into actual interaction. So before we get into all of that, Simi, if you want to tell the people what they should do.
Yeah, first of all, guys, of course, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. If you're on YouTube, of course, make sure you like, comment, let us know your opinion on anything we talk about. If you don't already somehow not follow us on Twitter, then make sure you follow us on Twitter at inter_extra. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, make sure you go give us a good rating. And if you haven't already, come over to the YouTube to watch us live in 4K. But yeah, aside from that, guys, I'm also very happy. Like Sean said, finally all this Mercato headache is over, and some teams are back playing. Inter is back playing, and obviously the other teams that are associated slash related to Inter. And yeah, again, Sean, I'll let you take it away because obviously this is getting into this is kind of your section now because you're the expert. So yeah, take it away. You can
Yeah,
yeah, go on.
yeah, I've been following all of these, all of our teams. It's been really nice. I mean, of course, everybody knows that all clubs have these, all their youth levels. We're not going to get into all of those teams, but kind of the ones that we think are that people follow and are interested in. But yeah, first, just wanted to mention that the Inter women got their first win in a competitive match in Italy against Genoa, a 2-1 win in the Women's Cup. So, for anyone that doesn't know what that is, it is an inaugural tournament they are starting before the women's Serie A season begins. They're doing it in sort of a World Cup sort of format. They're taking the 12 teams, separating them to 3 groups, and then they'll advance. It's going to go on for a month. So it started last week. It's going to go on for the next month. Um,
Nice.
yeah, so they won their first game 2-1 against Genoa. So good for them. Um, and then also the Primavera played twice in the last week. So they played Cesena last Friday, and that was to a 3-3 draw, first game of the season. Um, so looking at that, and also they played their Supercopa today against Cagliari. A 2-2 draw, and then won on penalties, 5-3 on penalties after extra time. So congrats to them. Apparently, uh, the whole senior squad actually came out to support them and watch them.
Yeah.
So
I saw
Catherine Ralph
Beppe
was
there.
out there.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Catherine Rolfe, yep.
So yeah, Oak Tree and the president and the senior squad went out to support the Primavera kids, which is awesome. Because their team was kind of gutted as well this past year. A lot of their players might actually be sharing time with the U23 team, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Mosconi is playing both U23 and Primavera, depending on um, how much game time he gets for one or the other, I guess.
Exactly, yeah.
Because if he doesn't play for U23, he's going to have the legs to play for the Primavera and vice versa. So, um, yeah, which is great. First trophy of the year already for Inter,
Let's
which
go.
is awesome.
The
Were
triplete
you able
is
to?
on.
Were you able to catch any of the game? I know you were
No,
able to watch it,
but
but
I did see obviously when Thomas was nice enough to tweet it. I don't know why you can't see it, but I don't know why Mosconi's shirt on the graphic is ripped. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, it's good to see a positive result or even a trophy, we'll take it. At the start of the season, especially for some of the guys that do play for the under 23 or are looking to play for the under 23. This is good um, advertisement, I guess, towards Vecchi and the staff for the under 23 team. Obviously, Mosconi is going to be that main guy that is going to try and push into the under 23 starting 11. But we do know that the Serie C is not a joke, so
yep.
definitely going to be fighting for his spot. But no, I'm very happy to see the young kids do well, and yeah, good result.
Yeah, it is for sure. Um, the U23 squad also played. They played a 1-1 draw against Novara, and of course, the brilliant minds in Italy decided that they should play Novara starting 15 minutes before Inter plays Torino. And we're going to get into some of the brilliance that Italy has been doing with all of our teams for the next week. Who just, because that's exactly what Inter fans want. If they wanted to watch the U23 team, they want to have to decide between the U23 team and the senior squad. That's just a brilliant move by the FIGC. Anyway,
Especially on a Monday. On a Monday is
yeah,
crazy. How can you put both on a Monday? But yeah.
it's just so useless. Why are you why does Serie C have to play on a Monday? What, like, you play Inter and Torino on a Monday for viewership of the league outside of Italy. But you're going to, what's the purpose of playing the Serie C on a Monday? The people that are tuning into that are already going to tune into that. You don't need to separate them on Monday to get more views on it anyway. And then you played it at the same time as
Yeah.
Inter's senior, whatever.
Yeah.
Just brilliant minds, brilliant minds. But yeah, started the season off with a 1-1 draw against Novara, which
First Serie C game
uh,
for
yeah,
the club. Yeah.
I need to look and see where Novara finished last season. If you want to just give your thoughts on.
Yeah. I don't know if how much you watched it, but I did watch it.
Mhm.
I watched it obviously when Inter Torino was in half time and the 15 minutes before Inter Torino started. I tried my best to keep my eyes on both screens. You know, I have this monitor right here, and then I have this monitor right here, and then I
You
tried to
Beppe
like, yeah,
Marotta.
no,
Yeah.
that kind of vision that I tried to have. So the first like 30 minutes of the Torino game were even weird because I couldn't really understand what was happening in either of the games because I was watching both. So you don't really get a view, like a general idea
Mhm.
of how the game goes because you're watching two games. You try and focus on both at once. But no, I really liked what I saw, especially in the first half. Obviously, Topalovic's free kick goal. If you guys haven't seen it already, make sure you check out the highlights. They're on YouTube. And yeah, I liked the first half. I think they did a great job of playing, applying pressure and keeping the ball in their own half. Second half was a bit shaky, but then towards the end they tried to push for the winner, and then it just kind of didn't really work out. Kamate missed a great chance towards the end, which was a shame. But in general, it was a good performance. I don't know again how much you watched, but yeah.
I watched the highlights, so I did see
Okay.
Topalovic's free kick goal, which was incredible. Just a great goal.
Yeah.
Um, and then the one that they conceded was kind of like the senior team a little bit,
Yeah.
kind of in transition. It was kind of funny. Looks like, Forza Inter goes from the top all the way to the bottom, and all teams in between. But um, yeah, so of course, always hoping for 3 points, especially to start the season. But Novara finished smack dab mid-table last season in Serie C.
So
So
it's a good
that's,
idea of what the level is like in general, right?
yeah, yeah. So if that is a sign for things to come, then Inter is going to be right there fighting for the playoff spots. Because
Nice.
that's what Padova, or yeah,
I mean, obviously, yeah, there's still,
Padova's playing.
like
Yeah.
room for improvement. I think we know that this is the first like Serie C, like the first league game of the season. So I wouldn't be like, oh, this is the ceiling or whatever. There's still room for improvement, but I think it's a good start in terms of understanding the league and understanding what you're gonna run into basically with these teams.
Yeah, which is good. Um, and then yeah, and then the big guys, Inter,
Whew.
playing an absolute drumming to Torino, 5-0 win, which to me, all I heard was we have now changed what 5-0 means already. First game out of the season, and whenever I hear 5-0, my mind goes to Torino. That's all I'm thinking about now.
Yep.
We're
Yep.
already healing our wounds. Chivu started off real well. Yeah. Before I go, into a long tangent about the game or dissecting it too much, what are your initial thoughts on it?
Yeah, it was great. I loved reporting on this. This was amazing to just watch, to witness in terms of, yeah, pure quality, pure. You can see a very clear idea of what Kivu is doing, already. Obviously Inzaghi inspired, but you did see some tactical differences as well if you want to go into, the tactical side of things. Yeah, I'm very happy with what I saw. I do just want to mention specifically, yeah, because I read a lot about this. Let's not get too crazy with the Andy Diouf hate. This man landed like 2 hours before the game, right? He had like one training
He's had
session.
he's only had double-digit hours in Milano. Like, he hasn't even hit triple digits in Milano.
Bro, he doesn't even know how to get to San Siro yet. He doesn't know where the stadium is. And you guys are making it out like he's looking out the window. The bus is on the way to the game. He's looking out the window. He doesn't know where he is. Okay? And guys are telling me, oh, he's got hospital touch, whatever. It's his. Bro, the game is 5-0 and he gets subbed on. It doesn't make a difference, first of all. And second of all, it's literally whatever. I just wanted to throw that out there, okay? First and foremost. But no, overall, again, I'm very happy. I think this is a great start, a great, obviously, more not just morale boost, but also, you overwrite that final loss with
Mhm.
exactly the same scoreline. I predicted a 4-0 actually in the in one of the group chats beforehand. I don't know if you saw that, but I predicted a 4-0, and then I was like, I was like, should I say something? No, let me wait. And then Bondi scored as well. So yeah, nah, very happy. One thing I do just want to mention, since I don't think you noted it, is the fact that the Ultra group, the Kurva Nord, are not going to the games, which I don't know if you guys noticed. Yesterday's actually atmosphere was actually pretty good considering that. But yeah, they're not in the stadium because they're protesting for the club's like basically the club's way of going about the selling tickets, especially season tickets, and also the prices, and they'll just remain outside the stadium. So if there's no noise for the next few games, obviously, this is for the foreseeable future, but for the next few games at least, if there's no noise, this is why, guys, because the ultras just, yeah, are protesting
Yeah.
basically. So
From what I heard is that, or the speculation from some people is that we might have better away atmosphere than home
yeah,
atmosphere
yeah, because they're all
because
spending their money
the
on,
ultras
yeah, there you go.
will travel, but they're protesting Inter and the ticket prices and how the club has been treating them since all of the stuff that happened last season went down. So,
Yeah.
um,
But what did you
whether you
make?
agree with that or not, but I loved every second of it.
Yeah,
Honestly, that game was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Um, I know that with Inzaghi, we did have some big wins. It's like the most recent would be the 6-0 win over Lazio last season.
yeah,
Um, but this one felt different. Not like not trying to get ahead of myself. And if anyone follows me on Twitter knows that I've kind of been dogging on Inzaghi. I don't like the way that he left,
yeah.
and the way that he kind of behaved and things. So, I give him more crap than maybe is warranted. But um,
I think we can all agree on that. But
yeah.
yeah,
So, but with this, the attitude from the squad almost felt like they wanted to win 5-0 instead of just happening to win 5-0, if you get what I mean, right? So the
yeah,
6-0 win against Lazio was like, well, let's go get 3-0 ahead. And then we just continued to score. It wasn't like it was just the way that the game went, the opportunities arose and Inter put them away. But
I
this
didn't watch that
game,
game last
it was
season,
like,
so I wouldn't know.
okay, yeah. So this one, it felt like at 2-0, the team was thinking, no, we've got to go score another. We have to go score another. We're not done yet. Let's go get another. Let's go get another. Let's go get another. Let's get everybody on the score sheet. Yeah, and Boni came on and was, oh man, he was
Whew.
everywhere trying to get involved. He wanted assists, he wanted goals, he wanted to be, yeah, he wanted everybody. It was it was a ruthless performance, and it's
Yeah,
something that I would love to see in the upcoming season,
yeah,
right? So we're up 1 or 2 goals against a team. not being satisfied with that, saying, no, we're going to go get more. Because if we're treating a 1-2-0 lead like we're level, then they're going to be focused at the back,
Yeah.
trying not to concede, trying to get even further ahead. It's something that the German national team is kind of known for, especially the game against Brazil. They are ruthless. They don't care. They're up 2-0, they'll go get another one. And in that Germany game, and you could see it, Bayern versus Barcelona, the 8-2 game. Like, they'll just keep going. They do not care. They will embarrass you if the opportunity arises. And I hope that we have some of that mentality this season. And that's what
Yeah.
it felt like in this game.
Yeah, I mean, if this is the kind of standard for like, or standard in terms of mentality for upcoming games, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And you did notice like a difference in terms of the willingness to keep playing, you know? Because
Mhm.
a lot of talk has been on like making the squad younger isn't just about making the squad younger. It's also about you don't just have like 30-year-olds playing from season to season earning a paycheck, but you're playing 23-year-olds that are hungry, you know, and they're playing because they want to improve, because they're excited to play for a club like Inter. They're excited, you know. It's not just like you
Mhm.
have experienced good players here. It's like you have hungry players that will keep going after 3-0 or after 4-0, you know? And again, now there wasn't any difference in starting 11, but obviously we're going to, you know, see more from Sucic, we're going to see more from Boni. Like, that, those two already made a big difference. And obviously Sucic
Mhm.
for me was my man of the match. I'm already just saying that.
I would agree with you. I
There you
know I
go.
put in our notes, like, was Thuram man of the match because he won
He
man of the
was
match.
great. Turan was
He
great,
was.
but like
He
very
was.
positive signs. But yeah, Sucic for me is man of the match.
Oh yeah, yeah. Two good goals from Thuram. Something that we've been waiting 6 months to see, which is also funny because Bastoni kind of poked at him, made a jab and made a joke. It's like it's good to see Marcus back after 6 months on vacation.
I'd even say longer. I haven't seen Turan move like this since like November last
Yeah,
year. Genuinely, like he seems fitter than ever, and I don't know how he did it because against Olympiacos, I thought I don't know what I'm looking at. Like whatever he did in the last 9 days, fair play because he looks like way sharper, and I'm very happy. Fair play to him.
yeah, but that Sucic performance was like a complete midfield performance.
Yeah,
Just everywhere, doing everything. He could have had 2 or 3 assists.
let me
He
grab the
could have had a
stats tweet.
goal.
Hold on, because I'd like just watching. I don't know how many times I wanted to tweet about him, like on my personal account, but he was just incredible, man. Like guys, 90 minutes, 1 assist, 2 chances created, 68 touches, 91% passing accuracy, 4 passes into final third, 2 shots on target, 2 recoveries, 0 times dispossessed. Like, this is just a few stats as well. Obviously, I can't always fit everything into these stat
Yeah.
tweets because it's like there's only so much space, you know. But yeah, nah, genuinely very impressed. So
Mhm. Yeah, the 4 passes into the final third as well.
yeah,
Like just that's those are one of the stats that I actually really appreciate to see because that tells me he's looking forward and
hmm
he's passing forward, which is what we're seeing from Chivu right now is this very almost the midfielders are almost thinking more narrow and forward and back linearly instead of the
vertically,
side to
yeah,
side. Yeah, yeah, vertically is the better word to use there. Instead of always trying to get the width with the wing backs like we had with Inzaghi last season.
yeah. Like
You know,
recycling it out to Dumfries and DeMarco is the easy thing to do. The brave thing to
Mhm.
do is to actually try and make use of the space that's ahead of you. And you know, you have the skill set to advance into that like final third vertically, but a lot of the times last season we just chose to play the, especially Mkhitaryan. You know, this is kind of like we've seen this. You know, Mkhitaryan and Demarco, that kind of like lazy axis over the like. It's just like
Yeah.
you kind of, it feels like a breath of fresh air in
Hmm.
terms of just, yeah, like I said, willingness and just direct play, and it's good to see.
And I think that comes as well from him being not really that he's young. It's great that he's young and like this performance from a 21-year-old is incredible, but I feel like it's because he's a new signing, right?
Yeah,
He doesn't have any of those bad habits or like kind of this is how we move together as Inter this is what we've been trained to do for the last 5 seasons in this formation. This is a new team for me. These are new players, new tactics, newish role that I'm learning, and he just took it and put his stamp on it, and it was incredible. Finally, I can say that Mkhitaryan might actually be benched this season.
He's lucky Çalhanoğlu was suspended. He's lucky,
Oh
very
yeah,
lucky.
yeah. Geez. I listened to the interviews podcast earlier today, and Johnny shares my Mkhitaryan disdain. Um, in the last year, I know what Mkhitaryan has done in his career, and he's a great soldier, but that he was the worst player on the pitch in yesterday's game,
He
and
might have,
I
he might
couldn't
have
agree
been.
more.
Yeah.
Um, it, he did his job. I saw what he did off the ball. Um, but also with his performance, him being the worst on the pitch was a good sign for the rest of the team.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, he wasn't bad, but he was just the worst out of
Mhm.
everyone that was good, I mean, I'm looking at football
Yeah,
right here. He did have the only orange rating. Everyone else is in the green, so yeah.
that's what I'm talking about.
But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it was. Oh man, so happy to see that. It was a good game. Um, yeah, I hope to see more of that. Of course, we play Udinese next. It's probably going to be a tougher test than this Torino team that's kind of been gutted. New goalkeeper, no Ricci. Duvan Zapata's not back yet. Yeah, they had a lot of changes in their team. So I think Udinese is going to be a little bit more difficult of a test. So I'm excited to see that one
Yeah.
before the international break. And then you got anything else on that game?
No, no, that's it.
Yeah, cool, cool. And then I'm just gonna roll through some of the interlonees, or yeah, I guess this week we only have loanees. So we're gonna go with Serie B first. So Giacomo De Pieri and Stabile. What's Stabile's first name? Help me out here.
Same.
Um,
Also Giacomo.
okay, cool. That's what I thought. So, both played for Juve Stabia. They both started in that game. Um, Stabile was taken out at halftime. Um, I don't think that bodes well for uh, like his performance. Wasn't able to watch, but yeah, that doesn't look good if you're taken out at halftime.
Yeah.
And then De Pieri got some good minutes. They did lose that game, so um, yeah, wasn't able to make his mark. But uh, it's good that they're starting. They're getting game time. I hope that continues, and I hope Stabile can have a better performance next time he plays. Um, and then we had DiMaggio play. Let me get Luca DiMaggio. He played actually in a further more attacking role than he normally does. So he's more of a double pivot regista
Yeah.
with the Primavera squad and where he's been playing the last couple of years. But yeah, he played that left attacking mid for Padova.
Okay.
Um, they did lose to Empoli, which is understandable. They Empoli's probably going to go right back up to Serie A. So yeah, interesting to see him play there. But again, a loss. Wasn't able to watch too much of that. But now we'll get into some of the bigger names that we know. So Akin Sanmiro did play for Pisa. He came on in the second half for Pisa. He got about 30 minutes in their 1-1 draw against Atalanta. I don't know if you were able to watch that game
No, I
and
saw the
watch him.
highlights though, and it looked like Pisa were, yeah, caused an upset, yeah.
Yeah, that's good because I am gonna go back and watch this game this week, or watch him specifically. I'm gonna skip ahead and watch
Nice.
him. I was busy all weekend, so
Let me know.
and then yeah, of course, I'll let everybody know. And then the big one that everybody's gonna be watching this season, Carboni
What a player.
played. Oh man, did you watch the game?
I caught a little bit of it, bro. What a player, man. Incredible.
He is looking so much better than what I thought that he would be looking. He looks fresh. He looks like his decision making, the things that he's trying, the way that he's running and putting like his work rate, especially whenever I would be able to catch the primavera whenever he was there, it didn't look like he had too much of a work rate, right? He was playing the 10. I'm sure he was told like you don't have to track back, some of the, that type of thing. You've got a
Yeah.
player that's playing the trequartista and they're trying to play that 10 and not put too much work in except in the attacking phase. But he was running a lot. He was putting in work defensively. He played right wing. His touch was nice. His passes were crisp. He had one really good shot on goal, and yeah, the goalkeeper made a good save to keep him out.
Yeah. End of the first
So
half, I think, right? To the left,
yeah,
like far post. Yeah, left.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah. So he did. He played well. Was doing some good things. So hopefully he can build off that performance and continue continue that form because yeah, his last 3 games, I guess, competitive games, Bari, the Club World Cup, and this game, he scored 2 goals. He scored in 2 of those games. So hopefully he can continue to do that. Love to see him explode this season and come back after his loan um, and integrate into the team. So yeah, him playing for Genoa right now is making that decision look good.
Yeah,
Getting
because
him
we
his
were
game
wondering
time.
if it's the right decision because he had obviously other, you know, options as
Mhm.
well. So no, it looks like it was the right move. So
Yep.
hoping for more.
So happy about that. Yep, absolutely. But that is it on um all of the games that we had this past weekend. So um we're gonna move into now our transfer news. One last week of the transfer market. We'll have one more update on all this stuff next week. So yeah, Simi, what you got?
What do I have? I have this young gentleman right here, Mr. Andy Juf. Uh, Guys, last week we had no clue. Tuesday we had no clue. Even Wednesday, even Thursday, we had no idea. And then Friday, I don't know what time it was. It must have been around like afternoon, like 3, 4 p.m. And I
I woke up
was,
to this news.
yeah, I know, the Americans woke up to it. It was like 2, 3 p.m. And then all of a sudden, I don't know who it was. Let me see if I have it here. Yeah, it was Luca Bendoni who actually sent it to us and was like, guys, like, like something's already close, but we only just knew about this. And that was the initial tweet about like, you guys can read it if you're on YouTube. But yes, like literally like a few days after he was there, or joined officially. Um, I lied. This actually came out a day before he officially signed. So he was announced on August 22nd, like evening time, here in Europe at least. And
Mhm.
these news broke, yeah, like 3 p.m. on the day before. So very like one of the quickest transfers we've seen, and
It was
kind of
Hakimi-esque.
literally Hakimi-esque, out of nowhere. You don't expect it,
Mhm.
and yeah, great to see, into being able to like close a deal within like just the space of a few hours because
Yeah.
that like we've been missing that. We've been tired of like all of these like negotiations dragging on for like weeks or even months for certain players, and then to just see this like clean deal, just here's the money, like bang
Mhm.
done, final details sorted, whatever. So yeah, he was announced literally like a day after, which I think was Saturday,
Mhm.
and then we had sorry, it was Friday because 21st would have been Thursday, yeah,
Yeah.
and then hold on, this is the wrong tweet. I put out a stats tweet as well, which I put on into Xtra, which is this graphic right here, which you guys have probably seen because this one did pretty well. It's the fact that he ranks first amongst acceleration. First in accelerations as well as ball carrying frequency amongst all midfielders from Europe's top 7 leagues. Our good friend Sharma, obviously he's been on the podcast before. He did a great scout report on him. If you guys want to go check that out, if you want to know more about him. But yeah, just in terms of fee, the fee is 25 million flat out. It was talks of 20 plus 5, and the 5 being easy bonuses, but apparently Inter just paid 25 million, no bonuses, just yeah. straight money to Lens, and yeah,
Yeah, and what I've heard from Lens fans, like that's a good price for what we're getting. They love him. They
yeah,
loved him over there. And yeah, again, so this is also the alternative to Kone. Like this
yeah.
is the profile, the player that we're looking for. We do have a little packed. We're overloaded in midfield now, but I'm excited. You said it at the beginning of the pod. Like, give this guy some time. Yes, I know that first performance wasn't lights out. He got like 8 to 10 minutes, and he had just walked off the plane.
Yeah.
You know, someone. I don't even think he had seen the actual city of Milano yet, and he's already playing a game in the San Siro.
Yeah.
So needs some time. He will also, from what I've seen, is he's got the ability to have some good technical ability. He's just gonna need some time to develop it.
Some fine
He's
tuning.
21. Yeah. Or is he 21 or 22?
No,
I
he's
think he's
22.
21.
He's my age.
22. Okay. So yeah, give this guy some time because statistically, I looked it up. He is similar to Manu Kone 2 years before he moved to Roma.
Okay.
Like the progressive runs, the passing, the um, like where he ranks in all of those things, and the average numbers per 90. It was almost like just the exact same profile. And of course, we see what Manu Kone has become over the last few years. He is going to be a Mezzala, um, or a double pivot. That's what he plays normally. If y'all didn't know that, so him being thrown on to the pitch as like a right winger, right attacking mid, not his position. That's not where he plays. It's interesting that Chivu played him there. Maybe he wants to kind of give him the ability to play anywhere in midfield,
I
kind
think
of
he
work
just
on
wanted to
that.
try the formation.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
too. So again, give this guy some time. We have given all of our players, all of our midfielders years. Um, we still struggle with Fratesi with his touches and his passing. Like I believe that he's gonna have a good impact. And obviously he's that profile that we have needed. He is tall, strong. He's going to be the a unit in midfield. And so I'm excited to see what we can actually use with his carrying abilities. Um, and yeah, if you want to know more, like Simi said, go check out Uncle Sharma's scouting report. He goes into depth on the pros and cons that this guy has. And watching that, it just made me excited.
Yeah, I agree. I do just want to mention, guys, that the fact that, you compared him to Mano Kone, which is fair enough because you kind of compared him to him like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. The only difference is that Diouf is taller, I think so anyway. At least he looks taller on the
Yeah.
pitch. And he's obviously more like lanky, he's not built as like wham as Kone is, Kone's got a wider frame on him. And which just means that Diouf is more like built for that pace dribbling, that like almost, I didn't want to say it, but more like a Paul Pogba build, like early days.
Yeah, I'm just talking, yeah, the profile, like Inter was looking for a certain type of midfield, and it was the ball carrying,
Yeah,
taller,
profile
physical
wise, yeah,
midfielder.
yeah.
Because I think Sucic is the only other midfielder that's over 6 foot tall, over what is that, 183 um, meters. Like,
Is
because Hakan's not over, is
no,
not that
Hakan's
tall.
not, Barella's not.
Barella, no.
Mkhitaryan's probably
Zielinski's,
closest.
no. Yeah, like none of them are that tall, and so this was another player to kind of get that. I would imagine that he's going to have some times where he's going to be making late runs into the box.
Yeah.
He's going to be getting on the end of crosses and things.
Or in like
I
hard
was
fought
thinking,
games, when you need to win like headers in the midfield. He's a great asset to have, yeah.
mhm, yeah. And Paul Pogba, of course, he was technically gifted. You could see he was technically gifted from the moment he was 18. Um, but yeah, what I thought of actually is I'm hoping that he could be a little bit like Sergej Milinkovic Savic, SMS, right?
Yeah.
Taller, physical, and if he can develop the technical side of his game, he's gonna be able to help us everywhere in midfield. So, yeah, just give him some time is my advice, but I'm also excited.
Yeah, no, I'm really, really happy with the signing. Didn't expect it at all. But yeah, moving on, guys. We have Antonino Lagumina, who signed, we mentioned him last week, who signed for Inter's under-23 on loan from Sampdoria. So that's another experienced player in those ranks. We'll have to wait and see how big. Go on.
That brings it to 4 players over 23, correct? So no more.
The CDM, Prestia, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and him.
It has to be, yeah, it has to be. Other than that, I don't think there's any other players, yeah. So it can only be 4, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so 1 per position, as we expected, you know, kind of. A few episodes ago, I think I mentioned it when the team was first founded officially. I mentioned that that might be the case, you know, that they might, or I think Gazzetta mentioned it actually. I don't know. I might just be too my own horn, like I said it. It was Gazzetta.
No, y'all definitely posted about it.
Yeah. So this is how it ended up happening, which is smart, you know, to have a player like that with experience in every department, on the pitch. So like I said, I was gonna say, it'll be interesting to see how big the squad actually ends up being by, you know, the time we do the next episode. Maybe we'll do a little review as well. But yeah, as of now, this seems like the last signing for the under-23, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so he signed. And then this might be it, guys. President Marotta said before the game yesterday, on potentially signing a defender, we are not necessarily looking for one. We'll see if there will be any opportunities, but I don't see it. If a player wants to leave, we'll replace him, but I don't see any radical changes coming. Now, guys, I do want to mention on this here that Fabrizio Romano did say that Inter continue working on bringing in the centre-back. Someone will definitely be signed before the end of the transfer window. This was requested by Christian Chivu himself. I believe this, yeah. But I also believe Beppe. So my thought process here is that this isn't true in terms of like, hold on, there was a different tweet. There's a tweet that said like Inter will sign someone. I think it was Luca Marchetti from Sky Sport. Inter will sign a defender regardless of departures. I don't think that's true. I think Palacios had to leave, which we'll talk about Palacios. I think Palacios had to leave in order for a centre back to be signed. Now, are we going to sign like some crazy guy for like 50 million? Probably not. Because it was just Palacios that left, and Carlos Augusto is going to be Bastoni's backup, in my personal opinion. Even with Zalewski leaving, because we saw Luis Enrique can play left wing back as well. I don't think that's a problem. Yeah. However, and I feel like, yes, Luis Enrique is supposed to be Denzel's backup, but then again, Carlos Augusto can also be DeMarco's backup, but also Bastoni's backup. So I feel like it'll be 2 backups for 3 positions, if that makes sense. Plus, theoretically, Darmian is still right wing backup. So you get the point. You get the point, right? I guess that's like my kind of thought process for that. So numerically, we don't have to replace Palacios. Do I still think someone's going to be signed? Probably, if we want to believe this stuff. But I did talk to, or Thomas talked to Luca Bendoni, and he said, let's see, in terms of someone being signed. It's literally just, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. That's all we can say on that. There have been some names that have been thrown out there. Jeremy Jacquet, Rennes centre-back, who is 20 years old, but they have slapped a price tag of 50 million on him, which kind of turned not just Inter, but Arsenal also away from him.
Yeah. Didn't you, you said last week, I believe, that dealing with Rennes is a difficult team to work with. Like, they're the Atalanta of France.
I don't know why I said this, but it was like, or for what reason, but I mean, for 50 million.
Their midfielder, Cisse.
Oh, yeah, Cisse, yeah.
Max $40 million price on him.
30.
It was 30? Okay.
But 50 for, I mean, Jacquet is a good centre-back, right? He's, like, they love him at Rennes, right? However, 50 million, because one of my mutuals on Twitter is a Rennes supporter. 50 million for a centre-back. I know Arsenal, again, inquired about him, and they have now turned to Hincapi, I think. So they also just obviously got scared. So he's kind of like, I just wanted to mention it because the price tag is crazy. But obviously, we've had some other names as well. We've had names like Yusuf Akcicek, who is one of Fenerbahce's centre backs, and Inter apparently offered 16 million according to Corriere dello Sport, but the Turkish side are asking for 20 million, which means the deal is off because Inter won't reach this figure. I guess they just don't consider him like worth 20 million, which is interesting.
Yeah, 4 million. Whatever.
We also, yeah, it's weird. We also had rumors on Alexandro, guys, but I think we had those last week already. I'm not too sure. Last week, I
Yeah, they
think
were
we
coming out
mentioned.
last week.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's still, I guess, a name to throw out there. And we also mentioned Uma Solé last week, who Udinese have also set a price tag, slapped a price tag on now, which is also, I guess, it's similar to what we've heard, but 25 million, and they wouldn't loan the player, which is what we've heard in the past in terms of obviously his legal issues. Inter don't want to buy him like straightforward; they just want to loan him for now. So that's why I'm putting this last because I don't feel like there's much in it because Udinese want the money straight away, right? And I don't think that's gonna happen personally. So yeah, Sean, like just maybe to sum it up in general, what would you sign someone, and if yes, who?
I would. So, I
And why maybe
understand
as well,
needing.
if you wanna,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'll go with the why. So that's kind of where I was going first. I think we're going to replace Palacios not as a profile, just as a number, right? So that we got rid of Palacios to free up the spot in the squad to then get a center back that can play center back and left center back. So what it seems like it will be is we're looking towards the future. I think the management realized that Acerbi and De Vrij, one more year of that might not be good. And Chivu has asked for a center back, and they want to give Chivu a center back. And in addition to that, Acerbi and De Vrij are both leaving next summer. So what do you do? Buy two center backs next summer and not have them as a part of your team at all? So I think they're trying to cover themselves. They'll have a player in that position come next summer, and you can still make two center back signings next summer. And you're not like it's not a completely new player at the start of the season, right there in the middle of defense. Um, when it comes to those names, um, yeah, I've heard good things about Jacquet. Um, and then Alexandro, I've been looking at more. And of course, he's played at a higher level. So he's played the Champions League and in France for a long time, and he's older. So if it was my choice, I would go with Alexandro. I think the price would be better. Like we're gonna actually get a fair valuation for
It's
Alexandro.
26, right?
Yeah, 26. I think the price would probably be around 30 to 40 million. Of course, the closer it gets to the end of the window, um, you've got to pay a little bit extra. So, uh,
Yeah, because they don't need to sell him.
wonderful, yeah, wonderful management by Inter once again. Um, the Turkish boy, I've heard good things. Mourinho likes him, so there's good signs there. But
And he
I
likes
think that
Mourinho, from what I read. I read
yeah,
the article from the actual like newspaper. He's obsessed with Mourinho, so he's probably just gonna stay.
yeah, no, that's a smart move. Like he's really young. He's 19 or 20, so that's a really good. It's smart for them to continue to play. Having to jump up to Inter and then not getting play time is going to be difficult. But of course, he'd learn a lot from Acerbi and De Vrij and Bastoni. So yeah, I would choose Alexandro. Those are all good names, though. I wouldn't complain at any of them coming in.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I feel like I talked about this last week. The mistake was already made with keeping both Acerbi and De Vrij for this season, but now we have to deal with what we have to deal with. Therefore, yeah, it wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad, especially to build a player up, kind of like maybe even if it's just in training mostly, and then you play him however many times you want to rotate Bastoni out for, which numerically you have the same amount of defenders as last season, especially I say especially specifically second part of the season because we did sign Zalewski and then I guess theoretically we also had the same number with Palacios in the first half of the season before he
Mhm.
left on loan. But you get the point, right? Like numerically will be on the same, but qualitatively will be higher because we'll replace Palacios with someone who is probably more ready, right? Probably.
Yeah.
If a signing does happen, right? Even if we don't sign someone, we'd be fine in terms of numbers in defense. Like, it's not necessarily needed. I know people are screaming it's needed. It was needed to ship out Acerbi in June, right? So
Yeah.
that's what was needed. That's not happening now, right? So I feel like us as Inter fans, we need to just chill in terms of what can we do now, and the answer is not much. Therefore, whether or not you bring someone in now as Vice Bastoni doesn't really make that much of a difference as people are making it out to be, because it's not about the central center back position as of right now, right? That's not going to change. What I do want to say is that I did watch Alexandro on the weekend. So I watched the Lille against Monaco game. Giroud, I don't know why Giroud is at Lille, but fair play to him. Scored a additional time winner to make it 1-0, beat Monaco. Alexandro looked very solid. I do just want to say his centre back partner, Ngoy, I think his name is, the Belgian guy, 22 years old, looked even better. And so there's another name that I have for Beppe's list. But he's probably going to be more expensive, right? Because he's 22.
Yeah.
But I did like Alexandro's performance as well. Very solid. And I didn't pay like full attention for like the whole 90 minutes. But
Yeah.
the tackles that I saw, general like defensive awareness, making sure he stays in like line with, obviously the player for the back. Left centre back for them, so we'll see how he'd play in a 3-5-2. Yeah, I think that would be my go-to player as well there, yeah. But
Nice.
in terms of incomings, that's everything for now, guys. We are already very advanced again, so I'm just gonna go through the outgoings as quickly as possible, guys. But if you have missed it somehow, Cristiano Slani has joined Torino on loan with the option to buy. I'll go into the details in a second, Sean. I know you're very happy. Yeah, he wasn't part of Torino's squad yesterday. I don't know why, but I think it was too early because they did
Yeah, we
only announce
waited
him.
to finalize. Yeah, we waited to finalize it, so he didn't have time to be added
Yeah,
into the squad.
this got announced yesterday midday, so probably too early. And then he posted a farewell message on Instagram. This is a cute picture of him and his dad when he was at Empoli, obviously young Aslani in an Inter shirt, I think. Yeah, like you kind of have to feel for him. It was never easy, and then now he's kind of half being forced out. Like, again, I like him as a player, but clearly it just wasn't meant to be at Inter, which is really and truly a shame. But hope it works out for him. So we'll see on that. But again, Torino's probably the right place to go for him. I don't know why he rejected Champions League football with Bologna, but yeah, maybe he just didn't want to lose in group stages. I don't know. But yeah, the details of the move are a 1.5 million loan fee, which is actually a decent amount of money for a loan fee for 1 year. And then a 12 million buy option next summer, which will contain a 20% sell-on clause if the buy option is exercised. Judging by this goodbye message, he'll leave either way, right? Because this is definitely a goodbye message. But yeah, and also a deal would be until 2029 if made permanent. So 1+3 in terms of years. But yeah, so Christian Aslani officially left. And then we also had Amadou Sarr, who left Inter 23 and joined Albino Leffe in Serie C. So that's the attacking department that's getting like sorted out, I guess. Also because Antonino Lagumina joined. So one player out, one player in. And this is on a permanent deal, so no loan. I did read that there was a 50% sell-on clause, but this
Sounds
wasn't
like every
mentioned in the
deal we're doing.
statement. Yeah, just that it's getting laughable at this point. But yeah. And next up, we have what we just mentioned earlier, which is Thomas Palacios, who is expected to join Santos on loan with the option to buy. Again, broke by our good friend Luca Bendoni. 22-year-old defender set to travel to Brazil in the next 24 to 48 hours, so this is kind of just out of nowhere as well. But it's good that someone's finally come in and actually wants him and,
Yeah,
hope.
and that's going to be much better for him and his development as well. Like playing in the Brazilian league, that's we saw in the Club World Cup. There's good quality in that league. Neymar's almost also back at Santos, so it'd be cool for him to play with Neymar. Um, and yeah, being in South America for him, I think, is going to be helpful for his development and his career because it did not go well at Inter or at Monza. So
Yeah, it's pretty cool that he's going to be playing with Neymar. Obviously, they just got slapped 6-0, but hey. They'll recover, hopefully, and hopefully get some good playing time as well. Now, Fabrizio Romano went into some more details and said, I think it was in one of the YouTube videos, that Santos will cover 100% of Thomas Palacios' salary and have a buy option worth just over 10 million euros. And also, Inter will keep a 30% sell-on clause, which is interesting because there's no buyback option. Just kind of, they want to make a little bit more of the money than they spend on him, which is understandable. But clearly, they don't see him as like necessary in the future plans, which to me says that this was a failure in terms of scouting. Like you clearly
yep.
saw something, but once the player was in Italy, you kind of realized, okay, it's not actually what we thought we got for what we paid. So
Yep.
again, kind of a shame, and you kind of had like that, in the nicest way possible, that like numerically anyway, that wasted space during the first half of the season because he barely played. Like you have to feel for him, but it was
Yeah.
it was instead of Giovanni Leone, we signed this guy. Beppe admitted that. So yeah, so
Yeah.
much on that. So much on that. On Piotr Zielinski, guys, he currently has no intention of leaving Inter. There has been no concrete offers from Saudi Arabia, which is what we've heard in the media over the past couple of weeks. Is he going to leave? Whatever, high wages, stuff like that. We've talked about it before. If an offer was to arrive, Inter might even forcibly sell the midfielder. Like, look, I don't see anyone arriving with an offer, so to me, he's staying. Also because he played again yesterday, only a few minutes, but he played. Didn't look too bad, like just usual Zielinski performance, and hopefully he can
Hmm.
actually step up this level this season compared to last season. Actually play with some hunger, play with some determination. Also because he has Juf and Sucic as new company in the midfield roster.
He also has to play for his next contract.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he just needs to stay healthy. So
Yeah, and
that's the main thing for me.
hopefully he can like complete the season without any major injuries, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Mehdi Taremi. Now, there's a bunch of news on Mehdi Taremi. He has obviously been left out of Inter Serie A squad, which we'll get into later. And, squad list ahead of yesterday's game. And the reason being, obviously, that he's still looking to be sold. And then, in terms of rumors where he might be leaving to, there have been talks between PSV and the entourage of Mehdi Taremi. PSV will now discuss internally and with its manager whether to proceed with an official offer to Inter. I do think Peter Bosz is still manager for PSV because I saw a press conference and they asked him about Taremi and he was like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, what about him? I don't know anything, which was interesting. But apparently they will now discuss internally and with the manager whether to proceed. So, Matteo Marotta obviously knows his stuff, but this was still funny if you guys saw that press conference clip. Lille also showed interest. So that's a team from the French league. Because obviously he doesn't want to play in Europe, preferably also international in terms of like Champions League, Europa League, Conference League. Also for the World Cup next year. That's why he's trying to push for a good move. And then tonight or this evening, we got an update that Sassuolo. Well, the Sassuolo rumors came earlier today, but the update is that both PSV and Sassuolo are in constant contact with Mehdi Taremi's camp for a possible transfer. Sassuolo are just evaluating whether they can afford him, basically, in long story short. And also if Taremi actually wants to go, because they don't know yet. Because, either it's the player's open to the move, the player's not open to the move, or they don't really know yet because the offer's nothing concrete, so they haven't asked the player yet, kind of thing. I think that's the
Yeah.
best way to put it. And then what we got literally just an hour ago is that Panathinaikos, who just signed Renato Sanchez from PSG, are very interested in signing Mehdi Taremi. I don't know if they play international football. I'm actually going to look it up before I say something that's not true. But that would be some of the teams. Where would you send him to? I mean, it doesn't really make a difference, but yeah.
No, I mean I would send him to the club that's going to play him. that's going to take him and he's
That's
going to
gonna
play him.
pay the
So,
most money, you mean?
yeah. Well, yeah, I honestly like send him out for zero, like for a
Yeah,
free transfer.
yeah.
I don't care. Get his wages off of the bill. It's yeah, it's a matter of a team that's serious. I don't think Lille are serious. They also have Giroud, so you know he's playing there. I think that maybe they just want some depth. I don't think that's serious, and I don't think Lille's going to play him. I don't think Taremi is going to accept that. PSV, we'll see. That'd be a good place for him. It's a good level. Um, yeah, and he'd be able to prepare himself for the World Cup, and they're of course playing in Europe. Sassuolo, I don't want an ex-Inter player at Sassuolo. Absolutely not. Never. Never again. I do
Almost had
not
it with
need
Buchanan, almost.
right? I don't need the Inter X curse coming back to haunt us with Sassuolo, who's already a cursed club for us. Just mixing all these things. Same reason I didn't want Tejan there. Just terrified of it. It's Taremi 20-yard bicycle screamer is incoming if he went to Sassuolo. So yeah, Panathinaikos and PSV would be two good places. Those are two quality leagues, quality teams. And yeah, they feel like those would actually be more serious. They're looking for a striker as well. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if Panathinaikos, I don't know who's currently up front for them, but I did check they are currently playing Europa League qualification playoff round against Samsunspor, so Turkish club. They won the home game 2-1, and now they're going away in 2 days. So we'll have to wait and see. They also got their league game postponed in order to help them recover. So they should be making Europa League, which is again, I think he would take that. So that would be decent for Taremi. We'll have to wait and see, guys. I just wanted to throw this in there because I found it funny. We've had several bids like this in the past, this summer, but Napoli submitted a bid worth 45 million after Romelu Lukaku's injury, and Inter didn't even pick up the phone. Like they saw who's calling or whatever. Like De Laurentiis was calling. He was like, Pio's, and Inter just, yeah, nah, no chance. I like this. I like this no nonsense policy, and clearly, he's unsellable, which is good.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so he's staying 100%. Obviously, we knew this. Next
I'm
up,
happy. I'm happy they rate him that high.
yeah,
I rate him
obviously
that high.
he's just unsellable. Always means like unless you come with 500 million, yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, Benjamin Pavard has changed his kit number. Now, the reason why I'm putting this in here is because some people initially took this as an indication that he's staying, and I think it is. And then Fabrizio Romano came out saying, despite the player changing his number, Neom continues to do its best to convince Benjamin Pavard to join the club. French manager Christophe Galtier is harassing, in the most positive sense of the word, Pavard to get him to change his mind. I don't, again, guys, we are not condoning any form of harassment. This is not okay by Gaultier. He better get out of his DMs because this is a bit getting a bit crazy now. He's obviously staying, right?
Yeah.
To me, you don't change your number if you're not,
Yeah. That was a statement for sure.
But still funny to see that these Neom guys, Gaultier, he's desperate. So yeah, Pavard is staying, guys, and it's only Palacios that will be leaving, most likely. Next up, we have Thomas Berenbruch, who had an approach rejected by Inter from Utrecht, so Eredivisie side. The club is set to hold full trust in the midfielder and for both present and the future. This is good to see because it means that Inter hold value in their youth players and clearly believe in their youth players, And we don't know if this was on loan, if we don't know if this was permanent. I'm guessing permanent because loan they might have considered, but yeah, he was also injured in the first game yesterday on Monday for the under-23, so he wasn't part of the squad. But yeah, it has nothing to do with this. They Inter rejected this. And similarly, Inter also rejected an offer from Belgian side Westerlo for Ivan Maillet, Inter under 23 defender, sorry. They proposed a loan plus buy option worth 0.9 million, so 900k, as well as a buyback clause. Understandable why this got rejected because they want him to be like one of the pillars in defense. I know he hasn't really seen the pitch much yet in the friendlies / the first 2 competitive games. But he's a great player. I don't know how much you watch him in Primavera, but I'm a big fan of him. And yeah, the centre back contract
Yeah,
will be
I've heard his
extended
name
soon.
for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry. I've heard his name for a while, so that's always a good sign, He's made the move up to the under 23 team, and anytime a player has interest, it's a good sign. So yeah, if Inter believe in him, then good. I saw like I have seen pictures and some clips of him, so his profile is good for a defender. So um I hope that's the right decision, and he can come good and help the U23 team in their mission to getting promoted to Serie B.
Yeah, again, I just want to reiterate this, guys. Not every player from the Primavera got promoted automatically to under 23. There's clearly certain, criteria that the like Vecchia and his staff are looking at, because there's a lot of players that stayed with the Primavera still for this season, like Pinotti, Lavelli. We have a bunch of guys that even Mosconi played in the, okay, he's part of under 23, but he played in the Supercoppa game today. There's players that either stayed with the Primavera still, or they got sold, or they got loaned out to another Serie C side like Quieto, for example, or like Matteo Motta. There's a bunch of players that didn't just make it just because they played in the Primavera last season. So the fact that he got promoted and also Inter rejected this bid is telling me that he's one of those players to look out for, because, Inter value him like that. So it's good to see, and good to see Inter holding on to their youth players. Guys, that was everything for outgoings. I just want to quickly breeze through these news because Al Hilal have, or Fabrizio Romano, sorry, let me say it like this, has confirmed Al Hilal's interest in Piero Ausilio. They would like to bring Inter Sporting Director to the club and reunite him with Simone Inzaghi, who also reportedly is pushing very heavily to get Ausilio to the club. But any potential move will be after the summer transfer window is closed. And then he also confirmed that Al Hilal also want Dario Bacin, who was supposed to be the solution, in-house solution for Inter to replace Ausilio if Ausilio was to leave. But no, it looks like Bacin would also leave. So this is more than just rumors. The Saudi side is ready to make an official offer and present its project to the duo. Al Hilal will ramp up its pressure once summer window closes. Again, good that this time they're actually leaving it till after something important. Yeah, after the 31st this time, guys. So yeah, apparently, I don't know if this is in any of these tweets. No, it's not. But Al Hilal are offering Ausilio 5 million a year, I think. Now Inzaghi earns, for sporting director,
Yeah,
Inzaghi earns 25 million a year, I think, from what I remember. So
all
he's,
tax free as well.
yeah, no, he's living life. But for a sporting director to get 5 million, Bachin's probably gonna earn somewhere around 2, 3, 4 million as well. So yeah, but both look like they could be leaving again. No talks of like accepted yet, because with Inzaghi we've had it that it's accepted, and we also had it specifically coming from Saudi media outlets that everything was done before the Champions League final. There's no real noise from Saudi media outlets yet that something's done. Neither is there any noise from Fabrizio that something's accepted yet. But the fact that they're pushing hard is interesting, and we'll have to keep an eye on this. We'll probably know more by the end of or by the next episode of the podcast. But it might take
The
2 weeks.
international break. Yeah, I was
International
gonna say
break,
the
actually,
international
yeah,
break.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see on that. Can you see them leaving, or what do you think?
I can see Ausilio leaving. I
Not
think
both.
Ausilio wants to take Bacin with him,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if that will actually happen, right? Because he would still be underneath Ausilio, and if Inter offers, no, you're going to get the sporting director role, like I would imagine that he would want to take the promotion in his career, um, than continuing to be behind and underneath
Play
Ausilio.
second fiddle, yeah.
Yeah, but I do see it happening, and I gave my thoughts on this last week. So if y'all want to go, if you haven't listened to it, I recommend going to last week's Crash Out and
Yeah, we talked about it plenty on there already. So I think that
Yeah.
sums it up pretty well. Yeah. Guys, we also have what I mentioned with Taremi earlier, the official Serie A list for Inter. Now, there's nothing really too important here. Andy Diouf has the number 17, if you guys were wondering what number he has. Isiaka Kamate, Matteo Cocchi, obviously Palace is leaving now, and Thomas Bernbruch are all mentioned here, which is great to see. I don't know if this is
Yep.
actually needed for the under 23 players. I don't think it is, because if Chivu decided to just sub on Mosconi, I don't think it would be a problem because of the fact that it's a second team. But
Yeah.
I think they're just mentioned in here, just, I don't know, to fill up the numbers, I guess.
Well, I don't think that they actually take up any spots for the senior squad list, right? So UEFA
Yeah,
does this thing where if they're homegrown under 21 or something like that, you can put them on a B list, and you have that availability for the player without them taking a senior squad spot. So I think that's what they're there for. Just, it's extra slots, and why not take advantage of them?
yeah, there was also, I don't know if we tweeted this or if I saw it somewhere else. There was the pictures for the Champions League pictures, the official ones for they were taken, and the inter youth players were also had those pictures taken, and it was Kamate, Koki, and I think Bernbruch. So that might be why they're also named in the Serie A list, because they're like the main three names from the B list from on UEFA's end. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if we tweeted these or not. If we didn't, Thomas, if you're listening, please go tweet those. And yeah, that's the squad list for you guys. And then the final piece of, I guess, real news, interrelated, is that Inter and Coca-Cola have signed a new partnership deal. Now, this was kind of out of nowhere. This is not official yet. This is only by Pascal Aguero, but yeah, so much on that. And but it's your turn again, Sean, because the Champions League draw is on Thursday, right?
Yeah, we've got some more action again coming up this week before the international break for the senior squad. So, like Simi said, Champions League draw this Thursday. So the qualifications are going to be done today and tomorrow. So we're recording today on Tuesday, August 26th, 27th. There's going to be some last qualification games. So that I think the Europa League and Conference League is going to be the next day, if I'm not mistaken. But the
Thursday, yeah.
Champions League draw.
I
Um,
also just want to mention, sorry to cut you off, that I will be watching Alexander Stankovic again tomorrow. He is playing in the return leg for Brugge against Rangers. So they have the home game now, but they have the 3-1 advantage from the first leg.
Yeah, I'm going to advise if anyone can watch Stankovic tomorrow play against Rangers, go do it. Go
Yeah,
do it. Scream at Inter for selling this kid, and pray that we can get him back for the 22-25 million next summer. Yeah, always. I'm going to be watching him all season, so it's a good game to watch. It's right before it is Champions League football. Like, these are Europa League. These teams will drop down to the Europa League if they don't win this, right? So,
correct.
this is European level competition, so it's going to be a good game. Um, yeah, so those two things this week, and then our upcoming games for all the different teams this weekend. I'll start with the Primavera. Um, early morning, the Primavera is going to play Fiorentina on Sunday. Again, a couple hours after that, the U23 team will also play on Sunday. Um, they're going to be playing against Aurora Pro Patria.
Okay.
Um, and then the women play, I believe, in their final Champions League qualification game against SK Brann,
Mm-hmm.
Norwegian team, tomorrow. So
Okay.
they're going to play them tomorrow. Um, so similar to Brugge, playing in a qualification game. So hopefully they'll win that. And then I believe they have a little bit of a break before their next game. So they're going to have their next Women's Cup game in about 2 weeks. So we'll
Okay.
mention that next week again. And then, of course, Inter, after the Primavera and after the U23 team, will be playing on Sunday as well at 1:30 against Udinese. 1:30 my time, 8:30 Central European time. Um, yeah, so you can sit on your couch all day and watch three different Inter teams on Sunday. Sounds like a
Beautiful.
perfect day to me.
We will be there. We will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that wraps everything up, huh?
Yeah, I just want to, again, guys, thank you all for listening. This is, once again, longer than we anticipated this episode to be, but we just love talking, man. We just love talking, right? It's it never gets tiring out. I barely mentioned this, guys, but this is great to just express yourself about, like, whatever's going on in our heads for interrelated stuff, and, you know, the fact that you guys keep tuning in every week, and, you know, we have this platform to speak our minds is great. Obviously, this is mainly news related, but the fact that we can, you know, give our opinion on it is even better. So yeah, guys, again, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, comment again on anything you guys would like to share your opinion on, and make sure you follow us on Twitter, give us a good rating on the different podcast platforms, all that good stuff. Sean, I'll let you sign off.
Yeah. Thank you guys for making it this long, and always Forza Inter Sempre.